Hey, trucked up guys and gals. I just got a lead from one of my viewers, Christopher. Thank you very much, Christopher, regarding Ford's Q4 earnings call. So I followed the lead and I listened in on the conference call. I went to some of the commentary regarding those recordings and then followed good old Jimbo on his CEO tour through Bloomberg TV and other investment television and video channels to hear what he had to say as he pitched his wares. And you know, I have to admit how pissed off I was to hear that old Jimbo is selling the F-150 Lightning down the river along with its loyal clients, ditching all his commitment and enthusiasm for the F-150 Lightning that he's been pushing for the past 3 years, which means it's time for another trucked up rant. So buckle up. CEO Jim Farley just did a complete about face, a 180 pirouette ballet style, now claiming that the F-150 Lightning and all EV trucks, their economics are simply unresolvable. It's impossible. That the only way forward is the newest marketing ploy that renames series hybrids into a more palpable, easily sold, trendy classification. Oh yeah, you've already heard it. EREV. And now that's suddenly become the new acronym. Oh yeah, just what I was hoping for. Yet another jargon-laden acronym. Reinvented, yes, as the extended range electric vehicle. In other words, yeah, series hybrid. It's a frickin' hybrid. This is the same guy who on multiple occasions couldn't stop talking. He couldn't shut up about how the future was in EV trucks. Funny, according to Tesla's own earnings report in Q3 of 2024, the Cybertruck with a similar range and similar specs and almost identical sales numbers for the entire year of 2024, coming in at less than 40,000 units, has managed to already make a profit. Ford, in the same period, lost billions on its EV division. Regardless of all of Adolf Twitler's insane antics, and putting aside what anyone thinks of Tesla, this proves one of two things, if not a combination of the two, and that's this. Either Ford is grossly incompetent and needs to dramatically improve how it operates as an auto company, which seems to be further substantiated by their abysmal recall history, being the worst auto manufacturer for quality control, or two, Jim Farley is lying through his frickin' teeth and is reading the tea leaves. And now he realizes and decided that he can conveniently kick the can down the road several years, con a bunch of suckers into buying a lesser truck and probably paying the same amount, and sell a lot more of Ford's recall-riddled combustion engines while making the biggest profits from more complex hybrids that keeps the service departments running at all of his dealership networks. Looks like Jimbo is getting in on the drill, baby, drill grovel trend with the rest of American oligarchs, bending a knee and pledging fealty to the King of America, just like Bezos, Zuckerberg, what the other freaking loser's name? Oh yeah, Adolf Twitler, and Google's Pichai, I think it is. Isn't it strange that GM looks like it's about to make money on all of its EVs? Isn't it putting out a lot of trucks? But they're so expensive. That starts to sound a little bit like fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We'll get to that. Rivian is even getting closer to making a profit. Tesla is starting to go kind of in the wrong direction, but that has nothing to do with the cars that it's selling, which have been turning over a healthy profit since 2020. What is that, 5 years of profit every year, making only EVs? Hey Ford, hey Jimbo buddy. Jim Farley himself has outright admitted that the cash cow is in hybrids, especially the trucks. This is about money, lots of money. Here he is celebrating the buckets of money Ford makes off of hybrid F-150s.
So F-150 is the best-selling vehicle in our country for 47 years. And as far as total revenue, it's number 2 to the iPhone, because they're like $55,000. And we sell more than 1 million of them. We make a F-150 every 40 seconds. 25% of all F-150s are hybrids now. Hybrids have become more popular. Our hybrid business is up 40% this year. And the pricing power is more than the cost of both powertrains. That means we make more money on a hybrid than on an internal combustion F-150 now.
How do you sell all that investment you've made into battery-powered vehicles and still make a crap pile of money? Well, here comes Farley's new fangled snake oil elixir. First, you make all the claims of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that has so successfully scared the living crap out of everybody and kept Americans out of pure EVs. Sure enough, in his conference call, he blathered away as if on cue that so many truck owners need exceptional long range for towing and hauling every single day, even though he came out and said the exact opposite right here.
That's my daily driver. I drive an electric Lightning, and I'm totally converted. And I don't know why we're all stuck talking about these vehicles as if all they really do is have no carbon footprint. It's amazing. We have modems in all of our vehicles. When you actually look how Americans drive, which we have the longest spaces, the average American only takes less than 4 trips more than 150 miles. The normal range, max range now, even on a cold day for an EV now, is about 300 miles. So 95% of Americans would have no problem living with an EV and not really having to charge on the road very often.
Then you pitch them on a so-called solution, on a problem that doesn't actually exist for over 80% of truck owners today who won't do any of those things, who a BEV, that's another acronym for a pure EV, an actual battery electric vehicle, can do all day long without any issues whatsoever for all those current truck owners.
I think hybrid's simple, right? You go in, it's 2 miles per gallon better on city and highway. You do the simple calculus, net present value of that, and you can kind of tell, is it worth $2,000? An electric, for Main Street customers, we're way past the early adopters now. They don't know about the repair cost. They don't know how to compare electrons to fuel, even though it's 65% cheaper, electrons. It's a new thing for the math, for customers. The indication of hybrid is a good indication that electrification will go faster, because even the most traditional truck customers are buying hybrid. They're interested in electrification.
On the surface, however, this looks like the holy grail of truck solutions, the same one Ram figured out it could scam people into buying a lot more of its horrible track record Pentastar engine jalopy that's got all kinds of issues. But it's going to be the godsend for the Ram Charger. Yeah, offer them a range extended EV, and you have the best of both worlds, right? I can't believe how easily so many of us can be tricked into buying a product that is 100% geared in favor of the profiteer and not the customer. But make no mistake, we're being tricked. This is all coming from the same CEO that just this summer had this to say at the Ideas Festival on Ford's very survival.
If we don't make this EV transition, Ford's not going to make it. That's how important this is for our country.
I hope this profiteer-seeking dork just eats those words. I really do. Just like, Adolf Twitler, maybe it's time for some of these auto OEMs to bring in some fresh new blood that actually thinks about taking control of the helm of the ship and guiding it somewhere 10 years down the road that looks survivable. Because again, this is the same CEO who acknowledged that China is coming for his market. Right here, take a look.
All the trillions of profitability that were taken out of China by the Western OEMs, they were busy thinking about their industry strategically. And they bet on electrification about 10 years ago. And now they make 70% of all electric vehicles in the world are made in one country. They own all the battery processing. You want graphite, you want lithium processed to put in a battery, automotive battery, a nickel, you need to go to China. So They have unique battery chemistry like LFP, iron phosphate, which is half the cost, has no fire risk, and can be charged twice as many cycles. So there's unique IP in China now. And many of the companies are sponsored by the government. So we as a company face a kind of ultimate fitness test on this question of making money on EVs. If we cannot make money on EVs, we have competitors who have the largest market in the world, who already dominate globally, who are already setting up their supply chain around the world. And if we don't make profitable EVs next 5 years, what's the future? We just shrink into North America.
But the question that's being so easily washed over is this: how is it that Jim Farley knows he can make buyers move to a truck that will still have a large battery pack? Like, it's got to be in line like the Ram Charger with around, over 80 kilowatt hours. Like the standard range Lightning has 98 kilowatt hours in it. So it's got to be somewhere in that range to make a range extended BEV get all the range that Farley's saying is needed, which means that it's not going to be much smaller than what the Lightning already is. But then you have an additional gas engine stuck in it, likely a V6, just like Ram Charger did, along with all the components other than drivetrain. It doesn't have a drivetrain as a series hybrid, but to deal with cooling and all the other components around lubrication, fuel supply, and exhaust, all of that. And somehow this will make Ford a bucket of profit, but a straight EV truck can't? That doesn't sound like good math. Or is there something else going on? Remember that fealty thing I mentioned earlier? All the forces that impelled legacy auto to actually frickin' change are all gone. So-called EV mandates, efficiency improvement requirements, threats from EV competitors overseas and the likes of Tesla when it first came out and claimed insane performance and range numbers beyond any gas truck with the Cybertruck back in 2019, global climate strategy shifts, etc., all on the chopping block, especially in the United States, under the decree of America's newly anointed king, to walk backwards on progress and leave the coming wave of innovation to bulldoze them into oblivion. Farley is making this case that no one's willing to pay those higher prices. It becomes a niche market. Yeah, like the Model S and the Model X that made Tesla what it is today. He is backstepping and looking for excuses that people will listen to. Think about this for a moment. They're saying that the EV truck is more money than a gas truck. Hybrids are more money. They're not on par. And EV prices have come down and continue to come down. So where do you think that's going to lead? But here's the thing. The trucks, the gas and diesel trucks, and the trims that are being bought in droves are on par or just slightly under the price of the EV trucks that he's complaining about. Just go price out a top-end F-150 trim with all the bells and whistles, or go get yourself a diesel. Let me know what the sticker is in the comments below. I think you'll find they're almost on par, if not more money than EV trucks that he says are too expensive. If you want to learn more about why hybrids are simply a way to avoid moving forward on change, and this includes all hybrids, including series hybrids or EREVs, you'll want to watch this video right here. Once again, thanks for watching.